Hi everybody, welcome back to the Retro Ghetto, and today we're going to be answering a question that I've been asking myself a lot lately. Am I a gamer or a collector first?
Well, you know about Retro Ghetto, collecting and playing retro. Street Fighter on the Nintendo, I'm a veteran at this, not a pro. Lock into the Retro Ghetto, come and have a look around in the ghetto. We got Sonic and Staples Settle, lock into the Retro Ghetto.
Okay, so I'm going to attempt to answer that question today, whether I am indeed a gamer or a collector first. It's something I've been toying around with in my own mind for quite some time. It differs. Sometimes I want to believe on this, sometimes I want to believe on that. But today we are going to categorically answer that question as to whether I believe I am a collector or a gamer more so. This is not going to be one of those 20-minute YouTube videos where you watch it and feel unfulfilled at the end because the person sits on the fence and doesn't really give you a categoric answer. I will be answering this question by the end of this video, one way or another. What I would love to do is put this out to everybody else. Everybody that's watching this video, people in the comments, let me know whether you consider yourself to be a gamer or a collector first and why. And fellow YouTubers, please get involved. If you're watching this, I'd love for you to respond. Let me know whether you consider yourself a gamer or a collector first and why. Again, please, everybody get involved. I'd love to hear what everybody's thoughts are. And yeah, let's make this happen. So, in order to answer the question whether I am indeed a gamer or a collector primarily, what we're going to have to do is go back, way back. So I've always been a collector. It's something I've done my whole life. When I think back to my childhood, whether it was football stickers, pogs, you name it, I've collected it. And still to this day, I'm still collecting not only video games, but I collect vinyl, I collect trainers. I've just definitely been inherited with the collecting bug or disease, depending on how you want to look at it. Having said that, I've also always been a gamer. From as far back as I can remember, way back to the Commodore 64. And there's even a picture of me that I've managed to find playing my Nintendo. And as you can see, my mum even kindly modelled me on Mushroom himself from the Mario games. She tells me that was fashion. Yeah, that's much a debate in my house, that is. But yeah, thanks for that haircut, Mum. But yeah, I've always been a gamer as far back as I can remember, going from Commodore 64 and the NES right to my love for the Super Nintendo, and when I really cherish those games and the love I still have for the 16-bit era to this day. I think therefore it is inevitable that the two constants I've had throughout my life, the two loves and passions that I've had, since I was a little child, would eventually mesh together. I mean, why collect games? I mean, why not, right? Collecting video games is fucking awesome. I mean, that's why you're here. There's something for everybody. There's a different genre, there's a different era. There's different ways of collecting. Some people just collect cartridges. Some people like to collect in box. Some people collect mint in box. Some people collect sealed. They don't want to open their games. There literally is a way to collect for everybody. And collecting video games isn't like a lot of other collections. It's not like collecting stamps, for example. They still hold their initial purpose. You can have these and 20, 30 years later, you can still play them as their initial release was intended. So I could speak all day about why I collect, but let's get back to the question at hand. So I have this want and this desire to say that I am a gamer first. Why is that? It seems to be a pride taken in the community that you actually do play your video games, and it seems to be frowned upon. Should you not play them? Should you just collect them and you put them on yourself? I'm not quite sure why that is. If you're an adult collector of toys, for example, you wouldn't disparage somebody that doesn't spend, their days playing with their Ninja Turtle collection on the living room floor. It's each to their own. How you spend your money really is completely up to you. Okay, but if I really am a gamer first, then why do I feel the need to hoard all these games? Why don't I save a shit ton of money? Why don't I play ROMs? Why don't I play through the game and then trade it or sell it after, which is what I used to do in my early years? Why do I feel the need to spend over £300 on one game? But then if I truly am a collector first, why do I spend hours and hours and all of my valuable free time playing these games? Is it for YouTube content? Is it to make my mind feel better because I spent so much money and it makes me feel some way justified if I actually play the games that I've spent my money on? And if it's true that I am a collector and not a gamer, then why would I spend so many hours researching and sourcing games that I feel I would enjoy playing? I don't feel the need to fill my shelves with games that I wouldn't want to play. I try and look for genres and games which I believe will make me happy to enjoy as a game. Okay, so before we look to get to an answer to this debate, I think there is a factor that needs to be looked at. and that's a financial issue. Wiser men than me have said that money is the root of all evil, so who would I be to argue that? It could certainly be argued that my answer of this question is swayed by financial issues. That buzz of making money is very hard to replicate. If I buy a game at the right time and then sell it at the right time and make a shit ton of money, that's a very, very addictive drug to have. Making money is one of those things, whether you like it or not, it makes you feel good. Now, nobody's going to pay me for beating my Pac-Man top score. Also, it's great to know, and I'm sure a lot of collectors will agree with me, that you have this collateral should it ever be needed. Who knows what's around the corner? Who knows if your roof might fall in, there might be unexpected bills, God forbid, some sort of medical emergency where you need to cash in. It's nice to know that you have this collateral there should it be needed. I could quickly sell a couple of items and raise up funds if I had to. Ultimately, there doesn't have to be a huge chasm between the two. I'd say that I'm 60-40 in favour of collecting. Yes! Hey, yo, what the fuck? This is bullshit. Fuck this. Okay. So I came to that conclusion for the following reasons. Now, it should go without saying I'm both. Okay, I've got a series on my channel of which I discuss games that I've completed, and I think I've completed about 15 video games in 2021 already. My tagline at the end of my videos is play your video games. Play your games. Play your games. Play your games. Play your games. So I definitely do play my games. But the reason I would say that I edge towards collector is there's a few reasons. One of which is I take more pride in my collection and these things that I've amassed than I do for any gaming achievement I have had thus far. I've cleared some games which I'm proud of. I've got some high scores on games I'm proud of. I've got some trophies, some platinums, this, that and the other. But it doesn't come close to the fulfillment I get from my collection. Also, there's been a few occasions where I've bought games digitally because they've been very cheap compared to the physical, and I just haven't had the same love for the game. I haven't had that impetus to complete it, and on the rare occasion when I have downloaded the game digitally and I've absolutely loved it, I have felt the need to add it physically to my collection. It almost completes, almost like I feel like it deserves to be on the shelf. And I think another one of the big reasons is I've naturally acquired knowledge more so for collecting than I have for gaming. I could tell you more about a game's rarity, value, variance of it, more so than I can a game's publisher, the sequels, spiritual successors, certain things about the gameplay, unless I've actually played through the game. So I think when you naturally acquire information on one side more than the other, maybe that tells you the answer to your question. So yes, definitively, I am saying I am a collector first to answer the question. However, there's obviously an aspect of both here. If overnight you told me for whatever reason I could never play another video game again, this collection would be worthless to me. A large part of having a collection is knowing that I can play these games, and it is a library that I can go to and take one of these games off the shelf from now until hopefully many years from now when I'm an old man, and I can play that game. Whereas on the flip side of that, if you were to tell me I couldn't have a collection anymore, I would still always be a gamer for life. So there's obviously pros and cons for both. As I say, I do think it's a 60-40 split. I do love playing video games, but I just have to say that my passion and what drives me more so is my collecting. I feel as though within the community there will be a reluctance for people to admit that. I've always had this sense of, as I say, people disparage against collectors over players. It's like, you don't play your games, shame on you. But I'm trying to be honest here. I'm trying to keep it 100. And as I say, I would love to put this out to anybody that is watching, fellow YouTubers, people in the comments. As I say, I really would love to know other people's thoughts on this and tell me why. I'm sure there's reasons I've not even thought of or I've not mentioned in this video. So please let me know whether you consider yourself to be a gamer or a collector first. I've really enjoyed putting this together, delving into my mind to try and answer one of life's tough questions. You know, these Greek philosophers would be proud of me. But as always, guys, keep it retro. Play your games. Don't play them. Just put them on the shelf. Who cares, right? It's just all about putting it on a shelf. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.
Retro Ghetto.